long-haired dipshit.
Are we live? I hope we got that. What do you think, Wayne? Are we good? Yeah. I don't hear any AC.
No, we're good.
Listen, we just had a technical difficulty with the AC unit, and the HVAC team couldn't show up. So, TBK HVAC services showed up, climbed on a ladder. That's like at least a 30-foot ladder.
It was dangerous.
It was, right?
It was
100%.
risky.
I didn't know what I was doing. But you fixed the AC, so appreciate you on that, Twitch. Oh, yeah, the power is going on. That thing's ready to explode. Listen, we have a big guest in the house today. Another amazing episode. Twitch has been blowing up the show here on the JAXXON podcast. One thing I do want to say before we kick this off is that I think, yeah, no, we ain't even gonna worry about it. We're gonna just ignore it the whole time.
It kicks back
AC
on.
unit.
No, let's act like it ain't there.
Yeah, we're used to noise. But Twitch's show has been blowing up on JAXXON podcast. As a regular host now and being on the JAXXON podcast, I do want to say we appreciate you. And one thing is that we've been getting a ton of feedback in the JAXXON podcast Discord with people. They want to know like your bike setup. They want to know what you wear. People want to know helmets. They want to know pipe sizes and wheels and jumps and this and all kinds of nonsense they've been asking us. So we definitely do need to start hitting a little bit on bikes. And what better way than start off with someone who's like the unofficial biggest whip ever man of the year, Mr. Pat himself with Twitch. And we're going to kick the show off now.
On a different bike from everybody else too.
Yeah. So they're not going to get much out of me on exhaust and motor setup.
So I was like, all right, this is an amazing episode to jump into that.
That's going to be good. Stoked. Yeah. Thanks for coming down. Stoked to have you out. I known you for a while now, and it was always cool to see dudes go from when they come in, start hanging around the group to like being a good rider already, but then perfecting your craft and being fucking really dope at what you do. So,
thanks, man.
Yeah, it's cool to see you guys come out and ride the yard every day. It gives me some motivation to actually come out and ride. Then I see you do a whip and I'm like, okay, I'm going to just go park my shit in the garage and cry.
Yeah. You can do flip whips, so I can't really do that.
So it makes up for it.
Yeah.
Wait, this is at the crib?
Yeah.
You guys do this at your house?
Yeah.
You ride with him at his house?
Yeah, all the time.
A couple days a week.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
So we
the neighbors don't mind with me.
No, I hear the ramp more than I hear anything when he rides.
Why is that?
I don't know. Like I remember one morning I was sitting there. I told him to come over and go riding, and I was sitting there making breakfast, and I kept hearing like a da-da. And I'm like, "What the hell is that noise?" And I'm like, "I've never heard that noise before."
Because the bike is electric, we didn't specify.
Yeah, so his bike's super quiet. It's electric. So I've never heard someone hit the ramp before without having a motorcycle noise, and the motorcycle noise would always drown out the noise of the ramp. So when he was hitting it, I kept hearing like a da-da. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I turn around, I'm like eating my eggs, and I look up and I see him flying through the air. I'm like, oh, it's Patrick. He's already riding. Like Mr. Overachiever. I say, let's ride at 9. He's riding at 8:59.
I'm punctual. I was at Starbucks this morning. You said be there at 8:30. I was there at like 8:28.
I was there at 8:34.
You're a little late.
A little bit of traffic, gas, and diarrhea.
I find it crazy how like this culture of moto, how you've just literally taken it on yourself to just say, you know what, like I'm going to just build a track and a bunch of ramps in my backyard and have all the boys over. Like this is crazy.
I really only let like my friends come ride or like friends of like friends. Like if it's their friend and I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? But for me, there's not too many spots to go ride. Like there is and there's not. But like I know some people's neighbors get pissed off. So like back in the day, we used to be like, we'll ride this house this day, this house that day. Like my house is pretty much open every single day of the week other than the weekends. Or when the school behind me sends me a DM like, hey, we're having graduation on the 6th. Can you guys not ride on the 6th? I'm like, no problem. I'm like, you ever have something going on at the school and you need us not to ride? I'm like, just hit me up. And
it's like 400 feet from the ramp. There's like sometimes like kids come over, like they get excited.
They just like crowd the fence and they're
stuff,
just like stoked. Or like they'll do the homeschool and like sometimes like the whole homeschool's PE, like they'll all get together and go to the park and they just line my fence line. But when that happens, I'm like, oh, I'm like cruising, come check it out. You know, like I remember being a little kid watching people do cool stuff and always wanted to be up close watching it. So I don't mind.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How did you guys even meet?
I met him, I think through Whacker, right? That was was going to be one of my questions. Like who started bringing you around? Cause I remember the first couple of times I seen you would be riding, but then I'd also see you filming and I was like, what's this kid's deal?
I think, I would get hired to film stuff. So I'd kind of be like, I think around, that's kind of how I think I met like Vicky really at first.
Yeah.
And,
that's where I think it was because you moved in with Vicky and then you would come around with her. You would ride every once in a while, but I'd be like, where's Pat? Like, oh, he's out filming something. And I was like, is he a filmer? Is he a rider? What is he? Like,
yeah, I don't really remember when I met you the first time. Maybe like Knobby Night or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite spot to ride out here in SoCal?
Beaumont.
by far, right?
Yeah, by a lot.
You love building jumps.
I do, but I don't really do it that much because it's really difficult. Like,
it's long. It's a process.
You've done a fair share of building out there, so you understand it's like it's a day that you're gonna have to go just work on building a jump. You don't get to really ride.
No,
because also everyone says like, oh yeah, we'll go build a jump. Like, we get out there and they're like, oh, you want to go trail ride first? I'm like, no, we're gonna go build the jump. Well, let's just go see what else. Like, no,
not just touching up a lip either. It's
no,
like,
no, building,
let's find 2 hills and jump from this one to that one. Like,
but no one ever really wants to do it because they get sidetracked.
Because it's literally all day or a few days at that. I remember when you were hitting me up last year or the year before
I broke my wrist and I was working on the tombstone is what I called that one because every jump needs a name.
I feel like you have to name every jump because then when people are talking, you're like, oh, by the fire road over there. It's like, no, what's the name of the jump?
It does make it easier for getting around. But yeah, like that jump, I went out, I broke my wrist and I was just going out there by myself and like doing like wrist therapy trying to shovel it. Like I didn't even I would park and like walk like I would walk up the one hill, like the ridge. I'd park like where Lano's jumps were.
Yeah.
And I'd walk all the way back to it, just get like a little workout. I'd bring some like Burger King with me and a speaker and just like
trying to be healthy, bring fast food.
This was pre me being healthy. This was last year.
Yeah. Now I see you getting ready right now. I see you're in the gym with Charles. You're working out every day.
Yep, I got a trainer.
Are those just your own motivational posts? Or are you actually working out?
No, I'm on it. It keeps me going. I got to like put the pressure on by posting it, you know? Then I got to stay up with it.
You got to stay consistent.
Yeah, because people will see me drop off.
Is that a thing? Are you guys is like the moto?
I've been just like posting training stuff a bunch for X Games. You gotta let them know, you know.
Which a lot of people that know Pat, like he doesn't really train.
Yeah, it's more because of that.
He's naturally gifted with really good talent at riding a motorcycle and doing a few other things. But
so I never had to work very hard.
Yeah, when it comes natural like that, you don't. I mean, he's scrawny as hell. It's not like you need to go to the gym.
I'm bulking up now.
I mean, you have tats, so it like you can't really tell body type. Like I feel like if you have tats, like you're good whether you're scrawny or buff.
Yeah, I got no tats, so
yeah. But you got to just get some tats, and no one will care.
Yeah,
I feel like you'll be good.
I'm just gonna get ripped with Charles. I'll be yoked next year.
You work out?
Yeah. I haven't worked out in like 2 months. I've been lazy, so I've been super busy, but I'm starting to get back.
He goes through waves.
I try to mountain bike every morning.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is that a workout?
Yeah.
Mountain bike?
Yeah, good cardio.
You do like a lot of like outside of weight type of training or no?
I'm supposed to do like bands and just like stretching stuff, like trying to get I have a bad shoulder and a bad knee. So it's just a lot of just trying to get every like muscle around those areas like strong, you know? And then also if you crash, like you're actually kind of have some, you know, meat on your bones to help, you know, with not getting hurt. So
when I rode contests, that was the main reason I only worked out, was just so if I hit the ground, I could bounce back quicker.
And I've been on it for like 3 months now, like pretty like every day. And like, I feel so much like more put together. Like my upper body, like just feels like, and I'm not like in amazing shape or anything, but it's just, I've been doing it enough now, like working out the muscles. It makes a big difference.
You see a difference. That's
huge.
Good. Like, and for me, I feel like it's just like, you get more confident.
That's really, you know? I'm even more, like I can trust my timing more because like I'm doing everything that I can possibly be doing to be the best that I can be. So then like when I actually do get to a situation where I need to perform, it definitely makes it like I'm way more confident. Like even like the other day I hit the next gen.
Yep.
No one else was riding with me. I've never hit it before. It was kind of a sketchy setup. It was like Matto had like a airbag landing and it was like kind of knuckled out. Like, but I just was like, all right, you know, like I also like work on my bike a bunch, just cleaning it, spokes, like everything that like, okay, I've done everything. I've trained, like bike's good, like just go do it. And like, I was just prop.
I feel like you don't second guess yourself when like that. And I feel like working out too is like a lot of like mental game.
It's
you're always
all
like,
that.
okay, I got 4 rounds to do, like, and they all need to be just like the first round. So I feel like that goes a long ways mentally and physically because you feel a lot better.
I mean, I've only been like training is just because mental, like everyone's kind of known I think I'm a mental mess before. So it's just for that pretty much. And it's helping a lot. And I feel really good.
You got X Games coming up. What are your chances?
I do?
What I remember when you would show up to events a few years back, you would get shit-faced wasted the night before.
Is that a question you wrote down?
It is definitely one of my questions. I remember because I see a different Patrick this year. This is why I had to write down the question because I'm like,
I wouldn't say every contest, maybe once or twice.
Let me point out to the fact that you showed up drunk.
Yes. No.
In years past, he would be pretty hungover showing up to events.
One event. He's really blowing this out of proportion.
Drunk or hungover. I guess hungover doesn't count.
From my experiences, when I would have friends show up to events, shit-faced still, or pretty hungover from like a bender, I felt like they were always giving themselves an excuse of if I don't do good, at least I was hungover. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and,
wow.
sure.
And I feel like this year there's a whole different Patrick Evans
sure.
coming to X Games this year. Like,
I didn't even like know what I wanted back then. Like
No.
I didn't have like a direction. So it wasn't even like
You weren't a freestyle guy.
I do
You
think
weren't a
that's
free-
definitely part of it, like having an excuse for sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of I think that was just like I just didn't I wasn't a freestyle guy. I was
You didn't
still
care.
I was racing. I didn't give a shit.
yeah.
I was still like kind of trying to race a little bit. Like I just didn't like pick a path. So like when contests would come around, I was like almost didn't even want to like
Put any effort into
or
it.
like even put myself into the category of doing it. Like I was just an idiot. Whatever.
Yeah. That's what I think is cool. It's like
I was a kid.
I see you like you're developing. You're like, okay, I can make good money doing this shit. Like I'm getting.
I'm really growing up. You know, they say
that.
that the frontal lobe of a male doesn't develop until 26, and I am 26 now.
It just all of a sudden kicked in.
Suddenly,
on your birthday.
I just grew up. Yeah.
Wait, I gotta ask you a question. During like the highlight of Metal Militia, I've actually never even asked you this. Like, would most of you guys be hungover or drunk when you would compete?
90% of the time until about 2006. I think 2006, 2005, 2000,
That's when it was getting
early
serious.
2005
Yeah.
is when I started taking it serious.
So
I feel like all of us
Was
did.
that like a prerequisite? You had to go party the night before to be part of Metal Militia?
No, it's just we were all fuck ups, and that's just what we all did.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean? It's like
I
everyone
thought it
like,
was cool at the time.
yeah. But once we all got our stuff together and started actually taking it serious, that's when we all started winning everything.
And then you realize
So,
how dumb you were back then.
yes,
Yes.
very.
Like
good.
hitting the table.
It's
Yeah.
good. It's good to come to the realization every once in a while.
Yeah.
Are you stoked? You feel like you're prepared this year for X Games?
Yeah, I mean, I've done everything I can possibly do, like, and then some since last year, even like just
Yeah.
been trying to be on it.
Last year for sure, I thought you were going to make the finals. I thought you were going to be in there, and then you
well,
went out. And
I made
blew your
finals.
load.
I made finals.
Yeah, but you blew your load in qualifying for the finals.
Yes.
Like all your good whips were in the very beginning.
Yeah, I wasn't nervous at all. Like right before whip, somehow just some calmness just came right over me. I think I was kind of tired.
Or hungover.
No, not at X Games. But I like wasn't nervous, killed it in qualifying, and it wasn't until I looked up and like saw that I was leading,
Yeah.
and then I like got nervous. Like when I saw like my name was on top of everyone's and everyone had gone already, I'm like, wait,
You're like I'm still
it
on the
got.
top.
Then I was like, oh man, this is like real. And then I kind of.
What is it? Is it like the nervousness of having to be?
I mean,
keep your name up there. Or
it was
pressure.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like, I really don't know. It just made it so real. Like, I don't know. I caved. And
Yeah,
then-
you-
I mean, I wrote it right, but my qualifying ones were better. And like, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I wasn't hitting the next gen. Everyone else was hitting the next gen, so it was kind of tough.
Yeah. Last year for sure. I was like, all right. I'm like, Patrick's riding really good because you always ride really good. But I feel like, yeah, maybe I didn't know if it was like the nerves or like what you said. You saw your
Yeah.
name in front of everyone who's already went who
And that, like,
was killing
that
it as
messed
well.
me
You're like,
up.
wait, what? So I don't know. I feel like for me, like with contests, I would always try to like just block everyone out and everything else because I always noticed that like a lot of dudes would be like, oh well, this guy's doing this guy's doing this, and once you start trying to do shit that other people are doing and not focusing on yourself, I feel like that's like where you go wrong.
100%. And that's like my mindset now. Like, I'm so focused. Like when I'm riding like, every day, like trying to like, because I ride a lot, so I don't want to crash. Like.
No, yeah.
So like I'm trying to be like 100% every time I'm in the corner. Like I have like a little like routine. Like I'm singing a song to myself and like the same thing every time.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll even like mess up the verse. I'm like, I might turn around.
But I think it's dope. I think this is the most prepared I've seen you in a long time. And I've been there and witnessed some, and I've seen some insane viral videos going around of you just cracking the biggest whips that I think anyone has ever seen. And for me to see your progress from like when you were riding last year and kind of taking it serious to this year, it's like, I feel like once you got on the new bike, it was just like game changer. Like,
yeah, I mean, it was all like you said from X Games last year. I've just been like kind of building like a lot of just positive momentum and
you were always a really negative guy.
I used to be very negative. Yeah,
You'd always
I was
walk
just
around,
like,
what does that mean?
super
I was
emo,
just like
sad about
depressed,
life.
dude. Yeah, like
He has like My Chemical Romance vibes with
Pretty-
the hair.
yeah.
It's like didn't
well,
care
I
about
didn't ever
shit.
listen to My Chemical Romance, but nothing against them. But
He was always just like a grumpy, just like
yeah,
always in a bad
I was just
mood.
sad, dude. I was just like not a happy person for a while. It just sucked. I don't know.
Yeah.
I finally got through it.
What
How'd you come
changed?
through it? Yeah.
I mean, I met my fiance.
Yep.
And that was
That'll snap you
I
out of some
moved.
shit.
Yep, moved to Huntington. Kind of got out of the scene for a little while, and like just and then like a little bit of good fortune. I got into X Games, and that helped me. Like, okay, like now I picked a path now. Like
You
I
have
know
something to work towards.
I know what I'm doing now, and the more that it keeps going, the more the vision of like what I think actually like seeing my career in front of me now is starting to like make it much easier to be happy. And like, cause I was just like stuck in a limbo because I didn't know what I wanted my career to be. I didn't know what I wanted to really do. Like, so I was just like, yeah, I was even thinking about going back to filming. So I was just a miserable person that didn't know what was going on. Like I was just a mess. So like,
did you ever think being on the other side of the lens was going to be your job now? Like getting filmed versus filming other people?
I mean, at a certain point it started to become kind of like it was going that way, but I don't know. I definitely didn't think that like when I first moved out here or anything. Definitely not.
Where'd you move out from?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. You rode BMX a lot back there?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could always tell, like, I'll see you post videos here and there, but I think it's cool when a lot of dudes come from like a BMX background into like moto. Like you look at all the mountain bike dudes over in Europe right now that are riding with Wanky, that are riding demos. And I'm like, those are mountain bike guys. Those aren't even dirt bike guys and they're killing it, you know? Like,
yeah, the mountain bike dudes are really stoked on the start too. Like I've been getting like a lot of love like on Instagram from like all the gnarly mountain bike dudes and like they're stoked on it. Cause it's kind of like between a dirt bike and a mountain bike almost kind of.
Were all the dudes tripping on it up at the Zinc?
Yeah. Yeah, they're stoked on it.
Yo, one thing you touched on Twitch, and I think it's cool for the audience to hear from you and then you as well on this, is how important is it for an athlete or someone, you know, kind of like trying to challenge themselves and attack their profession to have a goal or an outlook or a vision of where they want to go?
I honestly think it gives you something to work towards. Cause like he said, like if you don't know what you really want to do, it's like, what are you putting in work for every day? To just be the same person you were yesterday? It's like, no, it's like you want to be better. So I feel like when you have like a end goal or something you're working towards, I have an event in a month. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do everything I can every single day leading to this event. So when I get there, I'm the most confident, cocky, but not arrogant, and I'm there to win. You know, like I feel like that helps out a lot.
Yeah, it's like we said too, like I'm so like locked in now. Like when I get to like all I'm going to focus on is me hitting that ramp. Yep. I'm not thinking about who said this in practice, what the landing looks like. I don't care if it's windy. I don't care if someone cranks a huge whip. All I'm doing is I'm going there and doing like my 5 jumps that I've done every day, 800 times at your house. I'm just doing that again. Like that's all I'm focused on. I'm not focused on anything that anyone else is doing. Like it's just my deal, you know?
I think that's rad. I wish you nothing but the best at X. I'd love to see you win. I'd love to see Bierman win. I'd love to see Axel win. It's like all my buddies are in all these same events.
It'll be a battle and it's cool. Sure.
But I honestly don't think anyone's stepping up to you this year.
We'll see. Up. Next gen levels things out a bit. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not taking it as a sure thing. So.
No, you can't. No. When you do, that's when you get fucked.
Yeah, no.
Are you still like an official Stark rider, like on the factory team?
Yeah.
Can you guys break down this bike for me? Can someone explain this to me?
Can I tell you, this dude's such a dumbass. I had to talk him into doing the deal.
Wait, what do you mean?
I gave you credit on another podcast too. It hasn't even come out yet.
Wait, what do you mean?
He was
break
like,
it down for me.
He was like, hey man, like, you know, the Stark dudes are hitting me up. And for me, like being in the industry, I see like, like that bike is the future of the sport. There's so much stuff you can do with it. So many things you can get away with it, not having noise. Like, you know, neighbors are going to get pissed eventually and not want to hear dirt bike noises in the yards. So when they hit him up, he was like, I don't know, is it kind of like selling out if I ride this bike? And I'm like, not at all. If anything, you're going to be on the forefront of this. So when everyone does switch over, you've already had so much time on this bike where you're going to be so much more comfortable and ride it so much better than everyone else. And I'm like, what other bike manufacturer is offering you money right now? And when I said that, he's like, no one. I'm like, well, there's your fucking answer.
But the bike was not untested, but in like Freeride and freestyle, it hadn't been proven in whip.
No, not at all.
Like electric bikes have been in the scene for a minute and they've never done good whips. So I was kind of nervous. I'm like, man, there's no revving. Like I was almost like thinking I'm not going to get a medal this year no matter what, because it doesn't make noise and stuff. Like I didn't know. So it was kind of like risky, but yeah, he steered me in the right direction there. And then it worked out and ended up being like the most punk rock thing ever, in my opinion. Like now I'm just doing something completely different, and like it's so perfect for me too in the hills, and like it's like a dream come true kind of. So
it's rad to see too, because it's funny too when you first switched over. I would go through and like read some of your comments, and people are like, oh, you're such a pussy, you're an idiot, I can't believe you're going green. And if anyone knows Patrick, he's not like going green. He's like he's riding a bike because he likes it. He's making money doing it and he's killing it on it. So why would you not do that?
I love that thing. Yeah. I don't care about, going green's great. But that had nothing to do with my decision really, but it's a great byproduct of it. So
yeah, I think it's sick. I think there's so much more potential with that bike because it's so fresh. It's only been around for 2 years.
Yeah, we're scratching the surface right now.
Yeah, and like you said, like before there's been electric bikes in the past that were okay. I seen dudes riding freestyle on them, but you never seen anyone do like an insane whip on them.
Yeah, the gyro was kind of like everyone was like wondering if it would work because there's no piston going up and down, I guess.
Yeah.
And that obviously doesn't really matter.
What's the learning curve like versus standard bike? Like if you were riding just a normal bike versus riding like an electric bike going up a ramp? Like, cause you don't get to have that like quick little, like punch, right?
What's weird is most of us go off of sound and feel. And that's why like I haven't jumped a ramp on those things. Like when he came out and rode the ramp, I was nervous as hell because like you don't hear anything and it's like the power is instant. Like there's a lot of power. Like you can put it up to 80 horsepower. He only runs it at what?
55.
Yeah, like dude, the bikes. I rode one day where we went on a trail ride and I'm coming down the street and I was like, I'm gonna put this thing on 80 and see. And I'm doing like 30, 40 miles an hour already. And I gassed it wide open. And I did like a 300-foot burnout. I was like, I was tripping.
They rip like. Yeah.
And I looked down and I don't even know how fast I was going, but I was wide open to the point where it's like hauling ass, tucked, quiet. And I'm like, man, if I crashed on the asphalt right now, this would really hurt. So I was like, I better slow down. Like,
yeah, I mean, I can't imagine driving something like that without the sound though. Cause like even riding this little 50 around the parking lot, I know when I'm like doing too much because I can hear it and I'm not even good at riding bikes.
That's a question for him. It's more a feel, right?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it really matters, obviously, but I think we think about all this stuff on dirt bikes. Like we think that it's important and it's not. Like
when you get on the bike,
even like imagine like I always would think about having my fingers on the front brake and the clutch and like. It's so silly to think that we like freak out about that, but I get it. Like, but now I'm used to like I double fist everywhere now. I just do that, but so I don't have to think about it. But it's like the same. And then at 55 horsepower, I go up to the ramp and I hit it the exact same that I hit it on 450. Yeah. I go up to the bottom of the ramp and then I go as slow as I can. When my front wheel hits the bottom, I pin it, and that's the same thing on a 450. And because I mean, there's at the very top of the ramp, if you had the horsepower up higher, maybe you'd feel like a little bit more still pulling. Maybe it's a little bit more, but like. A bike can only go so fast in the 15-foot, place where you need to take off. Yeah. So like, it's not that gnarly.
Is this thing like slowly going to take over the industry, you think?
I don't know. I still feel like you have the fans that are going to be gassed for life. And then you have guys that are like, yeah, all right. I know a lot of guys that have bought electric bikes so far and they love it. There's like no maintenance,
there's going to be a lot more like around and then probably a series for them. I don't think just the way like all the racing is set up with like pro motocross and they kind of have deals with not deals with the OEMs, but they, the OEMs have supported these series for a long time. So there's kind of like relationships there that they need to be careful with. Like, so, and I get that like the like pro motocross doesn't want to piss off KTM right away because because they've had a great relationship and spent tons of money on the sport and everything. So like, there's a gentle like, stream that it's going to come together eventually.
Yeah. Because like right now, like you can't ride a Stark at Supercross or like an outdoor motocross race.
AMA doesn't allow it.
AMA don't.
That's just going to be a rule.
Yeah. It just is a rule.
Yeah. Like there's stuff to be figured out because like even it doesn't make noise. So like you can get cross jumped in the air, like racing. People don't know, they don't know you're there. Mm-hmm. So there's still some things that we need to figure out. But it is definitely going to, there's going to be a lot of them.
Did XGames just allow it off the break?
Yeah,
was there are they a sponsor or something?
No, but a couple of our buddies, or Josh Sheeny rode one last year, did double flips and stuff.
Nate Adams rode the Alta.
Yeah, he rode that at XGames before, right?
Yeah, freestyle is always like that whole thing has always been a lot more open with like it's not as strict as racing. Like the rules like
you have a bike deal still?
Yeah, I ride for Yamaha right now.
Still? Mm-hmm. How long have you been riding for them for?
Just this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I rode for them back in the day, like way back in the day. But we just did a deal this last year for.
They take care of you?
Yeah.
Do they have a version of their bike like an electric version like Start?
No.
Will they do something like that like a collab?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no clue.
Because it's kind of crazy, right?
I wouldn't say a collab, but if anything, if other manufacturers did it, they would do it their own.
Oh, just
yeah.
There's I think Honda's working on one. I think KTM is working on one. They're all concept. On it.
I know like the first like that electric Honda that came out was like the Granger dudes. Like that was their bike, Oh, really? That they supplied for Honda. Yeah.
The one that like Trey rode overseas. You remember that?
Oh no, not that one. I'm saying like the little bike, like the little 110s we have.
Yeah, not to keep going down the rabbit hole, but it is a cool concept because I feel like if I had an electric bike, I would whip that thing around the neighborhood. I'd never get in trouble.
Yeah, no one's gonna say anything.
Yeah, I even just like little stuff. Like I'll where I live, like I can't really park right in front of my garage all the time, so I'll just park my van like out on the street, and then I unload it and just rip into the neighborhood, go right into my garage, and like close it. Like just little stuff.
You built a couple outdoor tracks by your house or turn track?
Turn tracks are like great. I can ride out of my house, and I really don't. I mean, I live I'm in Winchester, so I'm in Marietta, but yeah, I got tracks like right by my house now and stuff. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, the Stark dude brought bikes out to my house one day and we all went trail riding and there was like 6 of us and there's this big field that we've always wanted to build a track in, but there's no way you can because there's horses everywhere. And he actually carved out the track and we went over and rode it and it was so much fun. I feel like we rode there for like 30 minutes and like no one knew we were there.
Yeah, there's horses like right there. When I made the track, there was a lady just riding a horse, and she just looked over, didn't care. Like,
yeah. Like, so it definitely, there's opportunities to go do cool stuff where people won't really get mad at you, you know? So
yeah. Miles Kovacs, the founder of Dub, he brought one here like a few weeks ago for me to try.
He had the Alta, right? Or no, the Stark.
He had sent me a photo of it. I'm not really sure.
I think it was a Stark.
Yeah, it was a Stark, I think. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But he had it, and I was like, wow, dude, that no noise. And the first time I ever got a bike was because of Twitch. Dude, I feel like every single guest who comes on here, you have some sort of input or helping hand in their career. Like, how many guys have you touched in moto is unreal.
I've touched a lot of guys.
With all due respect. Yeah, and I mean that with all due respect. But like, it's crazy. Like, I really feel like the lock you have on the moto industry is crazy. It's very.
I just think I've been
awesome
around for a really long time, and I've seen stuff. And if I could give some advice to my friends, like, why not? You know, like, I've made so many mistakes. I feel like that's how you learn. But if I have a little bit of input to help someone out, like, I'm going to give it.
Yeah, he wasn't, you know, he just kind of
just talk shit
let
to
me
him.
figure it out.
Yeah, cool,
Offered a little advice on the way as I was bumping down the rails, and
talk a little shit, and they think about it, and they're like, okay.
Definitely see you talking to everybody.
Who got you into dirt bikes?
My dad.
Your dad, did he ride?
Yep. He was like the first rider of the family. I think he just randomly thought it was cool and just went and bought a bike. And then he had two brothers, and they both started riding. My uncle ended up being a pro. They live in Maryland, and he ended up like did Butts Creek and stuff.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
that's dope.
So it's kind of in the family.
You when did you start racing?
When
you were little?
I was 2, I think,
2.
or 3. I think my parents had to lie about my age for the 4 to 6 class. I think I was 3. Yeah.
He's 3, but he's tall.
Yeah. He's 4. He's just
You gonna ever finish your video part you started this year?
Jeez, I wish. Well, X Games came up, so I kind of wanted to just focus on that and not be sending it in the hills, because I feel like every time me and Ty shoot, like I'm sending it. Like each time we've filmed, I've had like 2 really close calls. Like nothing happened, but like I don't even know if they noticed how close it was. But there's a big jump at Wyvern up on the back and the top there, and like I did a huge knack and like I think I did a big whip. And I went pretty deep on like a 200. I probably went like 200 feet, like, and just like almost exploded on impact. But
how? I think it's dope that you've been taking a different route with filming. I've been seeing you guys. You guys have been putting cameras in the back of trucks on gimbals and like just doing cool stuff. And Ty, he's a skater filmer, right? Like, yeah. He
does like did a bunch of Nigel stuff, and he just did like Sky Brown Nike part and stuff.
Yep. I think it's dope when people like yourself bring other filmers in like that, because you get like they have a whole different look coming into it.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool to see both of the styles clash together.
It's kind of weird because Ty doesn't really know anything about moto. Like, so,
which is cool.
Well, it's cool, but you would kind of like think that maybe he like would miss some angles or something. But like, dude, everything that I've seen, like we have playback right in the truck because he like puts the shot over in there and has all the monitors in my Tacoma. And then like everything I've seen is like so epic. Like I don't even understand how we keep just like he just nails the shot. Like I'm like, damn.
What are you gonna put that out on something or give it to a sponsor? What are you gonna do with it?
I don't know yet. It's still
early.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I didn't want it to drag on this long, but since X Games came up, I just like had to put a good hold on it. And then it's also summer, and I'd like to go film some more stuff in the hills. There's definitely like some jumps I want to build and stuff.
Where all have you filmed so far for it?
Beaumont and Wyvern.
That's it.
And Retchie, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have any other places like destinations you want to hit?
I really wanted to stick in Beaumont, really.
Yeah, there's so much opportunity out there. It's like every other hill there you could build a new jump.
Yeah, and that's just what I like being there. That's like my spot.
How were the Rangers out there this year?
I don't think I saw one.
Really?
I think I just drove past one on the exit one time, and then I usually ride in though. I don't park in there. I usually don't. I have a spot.
Yeah,
so like
that's way better.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because it just takes a minute to get out there, and then you burn up some battery on the way.
Start dropping your generator on the side of the road. So
I leave it back at the spot so I can go charge up. Yeah, I want to keep it pretty much in Beaumont. That's what I like. Is like that stuff.
Twitch with X Games coming up, something I'd like to ask you, and I pulled some questions from the JAXXON podcast Discord too. And with you competing, how do you stay disciplined on not blurring the line between cockiness and confidence going into an event? And I want to hear kind of both of your takes on this.
I don't know. I just feel like you don't want to look like a dick. You know what I mean? But like you have to have some confidence to go do what we're doing. Like you got to know in your head, like, hey, screw all these dudes, I'm better than them, but without saying it. And that's where I feel like you go out and you show them on the bike. Like when you're out there putting in the work, you're building your confidence every single day you ride. And when you get to the event, like we were talking about it on the way here, when you get to the event, that should be the fun part of your job. You've already put in all the hard work leading up to this event. So now you're there to go show off and look good in front of everyone and show them what you're capable of. And I feel like that's where the cockiness should shine, is when you're riding at that event, but you're not vocally saying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've kind of really worked on taking ego completely out of it for me this year. Like I'm just not. I don't really care what anyone. I just don't. I'm not gonna pay any attention to what anyone else is doing. Like, well, I'll watch and be like stoked for them. Actually, I'll probably just watch and be like, hell yeah. But like, I don't really think of it like I'm not comparing myself to them. You know, and also, and what's nice in my sport and free riding, like really like everyone's different. Like a whip is different. Everyone has a different style. There isn't really a better or worse. Like. So I'm just going to go do what I'm going to go do and just try to be focused on my thing. Like
I feel like this year is pretty stacked too with yourself, Bierman,
Van
Axel,
Stippen.
Yeah, Van Stippen.
Wanky's
going to get 8th place, so we're not worried about him. Tom Parsons. I feel like Parsons is a
You move right on to the next guy.
I feel like Tom P's a sleeper. His whips are always really good.
Man. He's good on the next gen too.
So there's 80 you guys riding?
I don't know. I don't even know.
Something like that. Those are the only names I know of. Maybe Creed. I don't know.
Creed maybe, or I don't know.
Is XGames still invite only?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't like audition. You can't try out. There's nothing.
No, they tried that years ago. They brought all these people from YouTube, and the only dudes that actually landed their trick were the dudes that actually rode dirt bikes and rode X Games every year.
That's so crazy.
Bill Coe and Todd Potter were the only ones that landed their trick for best trick, and there was like 7 or 8 other people that showed up to do it and just fully just barney.
Remember when best trick used to just be like
gnarly
barn burner?
Oh yeah. Best trick has always been gnarly, but there was a few years where it was like,
and it was prime time for me to be like, I was like 11 or something. And it was just awesome. Best tricks on. Like Paris Rosen is going for the flip with that Fox helmet he pulled out of the woods last week.
When he jumped off the bike and he claimed, I was going for a knack front flip. Everyone's like, no,
man.
you weren't, bro.
That one, I remember that year. That was brutal.
Yeah,
the crash compilations were next level.
I always thought it was weird too how X Games would do like the gnarliest moto event on Friday, and then you would do like whip Saturday, freestyle Sunday, but they would always start with best trick, where I feel like this year's a way better. They're starting with best whip. So
yeah, we have whip first and then quarter pipe. So
yeah, quarter pipe's going to be next level this year. Like
that scares me.
I'm really interested to see. I'm really interested to see what the Stark does. I'm interested to see Creed. Creed's been practicing his butt off.
Bierman looks good.
Yeah.
Axel's good if he shows up. Yep. I'm sure Colby will be doing good. Like those dudes are good at it. They're gnarly.
And that event is so gnarly. Like you don't get stoked to ride quarter pipe,
no,
right? No,
I really don't like it at all.
How many people in the pipe contest are you like friends with?
All of them.
Everyone, yeah.
So how do you root for anybody?
I root for all of them.
You're just like, all right, everybody be safe and let's see who wins.
Well,
everyone ride good.
Everybody ride good.
With quarter pipe, there's no cheating. It's like you either went higher or you didn't. You know what I mean? So it's like
there's no style involved, nothing. It's just
bro, straight balls.
It's a brutal sport.
Yeah. I do feel like, with Raul winning the last couple of years, he has that advantage on everyone where he gets to go last, which kind of sucks for everybody else. Cause like, when you see someone go higher than you and you're like, okay, I'm going to go higher now. You only have like, what is it? 4 or 5 tries to get there.
I was holding on for dear life every time. It did not matter to me what someone else was doing. That would not have helped me. I was trying to just go faster and hit it straighter. And
Creed, Bierman, Denny, and Axel are like, okay, I'm going higher every single time they turn that corner. Like I feel like they just turn that switch off and they just go. I don't
have that switch, man. We'll see. I need to get. I'm waiting on suspension right now. Actually, I need to get some forks done, and then I go try a new setting on the quarter pipe. Hopefully that helps me out a little bit.
You haven't even really got to practice it yet.
Not really. I've had like 3 or 4 days maybe since last X Games.
Yeah.
Like I went down with Bierman, let me ride a couple times, and I got a couple decent sessions there.
Yeah, his spot's pretty sick down there.
It's really good.
I like how they added like the wood to like it made it taller and like it visually looks safer.
It's like that actually almost makes quarter pipe fun.
Yeah,
that setup's pretty good. But my forks were a little too soft when I was down there, so I need to test something else.
Yeah, like his setup looks good. Creed's setup looks like death.
Yeah, his looks
Rawhaw's setup looks good.
Yeah.
Axel's looks like death because it's like even. It's like in this super big.
Yeah, his looks so scary. Like to go high on that one, like then there's no like if you knuckle that thing at Axel's place.
So in order of like from death to life, which one's the scariest?
I think Axel's.
His or Creed's? I don't know.
Creed
I've seen
at
the
least
photo
looks
of
pretty
Axel's, and I
good.
don't even know how to ride a quarter pipe, and it looks like I would die.
I would think Axel's is the scariest just because the landing is the same size as the lip. So as high as you are up here, like a lot of dudes' landings are a little bit taller than the lip. So you have little it doesn't feel like it's as big.
Yeah, it just looks.
His is
It
like,
looks better.
When you're to the moon, you're on the moon. Like,
And also, like, it's on top of this hill, and everything is falling away from it.
Yeah,
so
it's
like,
on a
it just
plateau.
it's so like just huge.
Do you close your eyes?
I don't even jump it.
Do you
Yeah.
close your eyes when you're up there?
I like honestly last year I was pretty much just blacking out. Like, and then, like I would go in and then I would just hold it wide open and try to go straight. And whatever happened in the quarter, like I don't even like really remember. Like this year I've been like trying to focus on like, okay, what am I actually doing? Like, so I spent like 2 days working on my technique, trying to get it a little bit better because I've never really like got it dialed. I mean, I didn't ride quarter until like 3 months before X Games last year. That was like my first time really like hitting it.
Ever?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I had
there's not
hit
a
like
lot of
one.
guys
Yeah,
that have
there's not. They're not around. I mean,
Are you just holding it open the whole way through?
Yeah.
No break, nothing?
just wide open.
Once you get to the ramp, because if you come into that thing too fast, your body's gonna blow into
Yeah.
like the ramp in your bike, and it's like I seen it happen to Raul the year
Yeah.
when he crashed
Uh-huh.
because he's like, I'm not getting beat, you know, and
He
he went
just
into it
pinned
super
it.
quick and ate shit pretty gnarly.
Yeah. So you try to go in slow, and then that's when the start will be nice. Is like at X Games when it's time to just go. I'm gonna start to turn my power up, I guess, and just hoping.
Do you
Right.
do you think you guys have a better advantage with having the start this year?
I don't know. Everyone. I mean, I don't know. I think everyone's motors are really built on the
Mhm.
450 and stuff. But I mean, in theory, yeah. I mean, it can keep just pulling up the top of it, right? Like,
There's no limit to your horsepower.
yeah, we have 80. I mean, the
If
best.
you can use it, go for it.
But that's the thing is it's not. I don't know how usable that is.
I feel like you get on 80, it can get very dangerous.
Yeah, I was like slowly turning it up the last time I practiced and seeing what it felt like, but we'll see when we get there.
Yo,
I love it.
In terms of events, you were showing me one of the craziest events when Bierman came.
Yeah,
Which is
his
Imagination.
imagination.
And I think that's the Imagination event by Red Bull, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this year they're taking it off.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening this year.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not sure.
I know they're working on some other things, but that's a sick event to go to. Just
Yeah.
literally like I got hurt the first day I rode. I think
He blew his back out.
No.
yeah, I got excited and wanted to hurt and flip this big jump.
It was like 5 minutes into being there, dude. He like, did you hit the tree jump?
I don't even think you guys
no.
were all riding that double.
You just came straight to that double, I think.
Yeah.
You didn't even like, yeah, you
I
didn't
jumped it
even
like
warm
3
up.
times.
Yeah, and then he flipped. It was like how big do you think the thing was? 90?
Like 90, 95.
It was like a pretty decent.
and I went like 105 probably to flat.
I could see you doing that flipping. If I like now knowing like what that would feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have gone deep too.
Yeah, it was a pretty rad jump, and I
But you didn't want to case it, and it really wasn't the longest landing. So
5
I-
minutes in.
And I knew I didn't have that much
he probably
time.
rode for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I knew I didn't have that much time on this jump before they wanted to go to the next jump, and I was like, I want to hurt and flip this thing. Like, it just looked cool to flip. And
It didn't look like it was a pretty bad OJ. Actually, I kind of remember that.
well, and when I landed, it was like the landing went down, and then there was a lip
Like a
cut out
hill.
here. So when I landed, like twisted my back, and dude, it hurt so bad.
So you were done.
Yeah, I sat there and watched them ride the whole week, but
He flipped it. I mean, he kind of did what he
I-
needed to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
we
did.
had a squad in here. We had Cheeto Vera, Luke Rockhold, Scheckler, Rampage, all the boys here at the Jackson house. We were giving everybody the brand new 8mm chains. So we were like, yo, let's put on a video to watch while we give everybody these new chains. We just got them in, the one he's wearing.
Nice.
They're like our best-selling chains in gold and silver. And everybody puts on your event, like you riding.
Yeah.
And it was the craziest. It's probably the best filming footage and riding I've seen. Like, I was like blown away.
Was it the broadcast or was it like the
No, it was-
the
it was on
episodes?
YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
the
was the
episodes.
episodes,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
He had sent us the
Verb
link.
did. Yeah.
It was insane, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, those filmers are really good.
yeah,
Shout
the
that
Verb dudes,
crew.
older
Yeah.
show, they kill it.
that was Imagination 4.0, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So if
that was the
anybody's
last
at
one.
home, you got to go watch this guy on that, and you'll be blown away. But were you there live too when he was doing
Yeah,
this?
I was there. I hurt my back the first day, and I sat there and watched. Did I judge?
No, you were the team captain.
Yeah, I was a team captain.
I beat you.
Yeah.
How does
My
the
team won.
captain
Yeah.
work?
We got to pick. We got to pick our own teams.
Who was on your team?
Josh Hill,
Yeah, Hill, Denny,
Nicky, Cole.
Bierman
Or no,
last second.
No,
you,
we
you
had
didn't
Cole.
pick him.
Matto screwed me on my picks.
Actually, yeah, he did get screwed. It cost him the event too.
Yeah, like I was supposed to pick first because I won the flip, and then it got all confused, and I was just like, "Fuck it, let Matto go." You know what
So
I mean?
Matto got to pick first, and he picked me.
Yeah. I had my team in my head where I was like, I got a winning team, but my team was still stacked and it was good. And
Yeah,
then
it was a good battle.
someone got hurt, and then I ended up taking over Bierman on my team or something like that.
No, you took Van
Stippen.
Stippen. Yeah.
Yeah, our boy Julian, he's dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely bummed to not see that event go down this year. But it's a gnarly event.
It was fun, man.
It was cool to sit back and watch all these dudes. I've been there the last 3-4 years, so it's been rad to ride it, and it's also rad to like see all these dudes just hit all these gnarly jumps where you're like, oh, dude, like there's some. Yeah. And it's not a lot of people know it's always super windy. They're like, with how windy it is there, 95% of the time we wouldn't be riding at home.
And what is it, Kansas City? Is that where it was at? Kansas City?
During the whip final, there's no way in hell we'd be riding.
No, like you wouldn't even think about touching your bike.
It was
just
it
always
was like
windy.
a 30-mile-an-hour headwind.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's like that's the time slot you have to film this
and
section.
And we had to do speed and stuff, so I had to hit the track. I had to do like every jump going every direction in the wind. It sucked.
Yeah, so talk to me about stealing the show on that. Like, how do you even put together a run?
Luckily this year it was better because it was like categorized. So you would have like a speed and style, which was like me versus Josh Hill. And then we had best whip category. So it wasn't like doing a 5-minute long run like it was in the past, which I thought it was really cool. I had a lot of fun. It changed this year.
Yeah. Like the overall was like based on your team and everyone's like what they could do. So I liked it. It was cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
What other events you got coming up this year besides X Games?
We're gonna go to Perth for Freestyle Kings.
Are they having a whip event?
They're putting a quarter pipe inside the RAC arena, I think.
Oh, that's gonna be dope.
And then Colby's going, Bierman's going. That's right. I literally fly out the day after X Games to do that, and then come back, and then we have Hill Jam at the end of whatever month that is. And then I think chill for a little while, and then we got a bunch of like day in the dirt stuff too, though. And this coming winter, so I'll finally get back on a track for a little bit, and then hit a track and get back in the hills is kind of what I'm looking forward to.
Hill Jam always looks like a super fun event.
Yeah, like and there's some racing there too. He's gonna have Supercross. So
he is.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm kind of tired of hitting ramps.
I love Hill. I think Hill has 6 down. He's not scared to jump anything.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, I always loved watching him and Axel ride together. Like whenever we go to like for Doonies and stuff like that. Like
dude.
Watching those dudes just feed off of each other and the jumps they look at. I'm like, dude, screw
Josh and Glamis is so gnarly.
I've seen him
Josh everywhere is gnarly, but
I've seen him jump some big jumps out in Glamis, like where I'm like, I ain't even taking
dude,
a test run.
He's not afraid of 4th gear or 5th gear.
No, not at all.
I can imagine the Glamis jumps. Like I've seen some crazy highlights on YouTube of people just flying off the hill. I can't imagine you guys all there together. What would happen?
It's pretty fun.
They've done some pretty sick videos before. Yeah. But I've never been out there.
You've never been to Glamis?
Never.
We got to go this winter.
I'm down.
I haven't been in a while. Like I used to go out there a lot, and then I started.
That'd be cool to actually go film for. That'd be a cool spot.
It's a hit or a miss, like depending on which way the wind's been blowing, because it just blows the dunes all over. So sometimes you can go there and you can find 100 jumps in within 100 feet, or you can find no jumps in the whole desert. Yeah, like it just depends on which way it's blowing, and if you get out there and if it's windy or not. Like so.
What about?
We'll think about it.
Yeah, like what about these events? As like a free rider, as a guy who competed, people who are still competing. What does Moto need to have like a new birth?
Well, that's what like I was just thinking too. Like, what does X Games need to be back to be like being dope again? I feel like they're on their way back to like having their cred because like for that few years during COVID when it just went to like Axel's house or like other people's houses. Not having the fans there is a big thing. Like it's like you need fans there to have the event.
And last year was sick, dude.
I heard they were sold out every single day.
It was epic. Like the crowd was nuts. It felt like old X Games.
Yeah.
It felt like when I was a kid watching it, like 2004. Like it was sick. I was really glad and grateful that was like my first X Games because it was dope.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. I heard they did some planning too to make it bigger because last year they sold out every single day right away on tickets.
It's a bigger. We're in the other parking lot this year.
You are.
Yeah, so it should be a bigger space.
And the only thing that sucks for them too is being in that parking lot that close to the beach. It's always windy too.
And you know what sucks now is last year we had tailwind because that's the direction, the way that it says on the paper that
coming off of the beach.
I think but I think we're gonna be side
going. Oh,
but so we'll see. Whatever.
Yeah,
but you go through the wind on whips anyway. I was riding Matto's the other night at gale force wind, so whatever.
I feel like Matto's house is always windy.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
I mean, you guys are both like pretty experienced when it comes to like perfecting tricks and runs and competing, especially making content. Like for me, Twitch, like watching your videos, like obviously I just watch your stuff all day long now because we have the podcast and we're always looking at clips, and especially when guests are coming on, we have a Jackson house filled with athletes and they love watching Moto now. I feel like every time we have a new podcast like series like this is our new one right now, which is Twitch, kind of bringing us into the world of Moto a little bit and kind of his authentic feel inside of it, the entire place turns into like motocross fans, supercross fans. Everybody's trying to ride bikes.
Jeremy seems to have that effect.
Yeah. What is it like for tricks? Like I know you were saying on the last podcast when you guys would look at tricks in the old days, and there's a video that went viral of you. It's got like 20 million views on Facebook talking about how people are going to kill themselves if the tricks keep progressing, how fast it's going. What is it about tricks like to perfect it or to look for a new trick?
I think that person just being creative and wanting to one up everybody else. Cause like, I remember there was years back where it was like, oh, freestyle's done. Like they've already done all the tricks. There's no more tricks to be had. And then you have all these crazy ass Australians coming over with all these new tricks. And it's like, it's insane. It's just like Patrick, everyone's been doing whips for how many years now? And then out of nowhere, his whips just got insanely dope and better than anyone's you've ever really seen.
The electric bike helped.
Yeah.
But
so it's just,
how is that?
There's nonstop progress going down.
I don't know. I just like trying to I just get bored. So I keep trying to learn stuff.
Is there an inspiration though? Like, are you watching something? Are you training for something?
I'm just training because these companies are paying me every month to be a dirt bike rider. So I'm going to try to be the best one I can be, I guess. It's my job. It's my job to go do it. So.
And do you consider yourself like just a straight free rider, or do you consider yourself like a competition rider? Like, how do you even label yourself now in today's time?
Fun haver.
I would like to be put into, I want to do video parts really and just ride Beaumont. Is like, that's kind of my, I mean, I'll do contests probably because you have to make money, but
not that titles matter, but it is unique now. Like we're watching you pave an entire way of kind of just doing whatever it is you want to do, right? Like,
yeah, kind of.
You're not set to one thing. I'm pretty sure in the old days, like you guys had to compete to get like a Mark Echo deal.
I mean, I think I definitely still have to do X Games, and I like it. I mean, I'm down with it. But I would, if I was like saying like, what am I trying to like be remembered as, or like, what is my like, am I a competitor? No, I would just say free riding. I want to just be like filming parts and building jumps. Like that's what I want to.
Is there something you look for when making a part that you look to make it special or to make it authentic? Or
it's hard. It's hard not to if you like. If we're just taking time and like just building jumps takes forever. Like it's a pretty big passion project. Anytime you try to like make a new video, even if it's not even like a super epic one or like. Just even just getting like remember when you filmed that one monster video?
Yeah, out of Richie.
Yeah, and that was like, it wasn't like a full part necessarily, but just that. How long did that take you to build like a couple?
It took me like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's for like a 3 minute or a 2 minute video, pretty much. So yeah, it's pretty hard not to like kind of have an authentic feel with it, like when you're doing that stuff.
Was Imagination your first dirt flip? It was, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Are you just feeling cocky there or confident?
Dude, well, I knew I like kind of needed to do it to beat Josh.
Yeah, because for speed and style or whatever.
Yeah, and it was fine though. That jump thing, it was like a ramp.
That one felt like a ramp.
It was very like a ramp. And then since I've gone to Beaumont and flipped some stuff, and it's a lot sketchier kind of. But
I was about to say, what do you think the sketchiest jump you flipped so far?
I flipped that one that's like, I don't think you've ever been there. It's like way in the back, and it's like a left hip kind of. It's like a really long run up, and then
was that Richie or Beaumont?
And Beaumont. That one, I flipped that back one I sent
with
you.
Ralph, right?
Yeah, Ralph. That thing was pretty squirrely, dude.
Oh, Wreck-It Ralph. We have a buddy out at Richie Canyon. He just shovels jumps all the time.
He's the man.
Like, yeah. And I'll be like, show up. I'm like, I ain't got a shovel. He's like, you don't need a shovel. You've been out here for years. Just come. I got jumps already ready to go.
Yeah, you show up and like start riding. He goes like, nah, dude, these jumps are blown out, dude. There's the 240 in the back. Follow me, dude.
That place is so fun, dude. I can't wait to get out there this winter. You have goggles coming out soon with Heatwave, right?
We've been working on a possible little special color and stuff. So
have you seen any samples yet?
I have not seen a sample, but I designed it. I just did it on Illustrator and stuff. I got the file from them. I was like, all right, sweet. I'm just going to do whatever I want. And then I'm pretty stoked on it. So we'll see. I haven't got a sample yet, but yeah.
You got to get on Candy to get you some signature gear, dude.
We have stuff for X Games.
Yeah, but you got to get some signature gear to sell.
Oh, royalties, right.
Yes.
Business.
Long term.
Thanks for coming to the JAXXON podcast. We were talking about... Let's talk real estate. No, you're right. I do need to get on that.
Yeah, let's talk realistic. You and Dingus want to do a gold wing jump?
Oh, yeah. There's been talks of that. Yeah, me and my buddy Dingus been planning this.
You've seen
it's a 100 gold wing jump. So,
well, I mean, even when you were talking about the sponsor thing, I was like, who pays for that, or how does that work, or who comes in to support him, or do you have to do everything?
For me and Dingus's make believe gold wing jump.
Yeah.
This one's just hypothetical, I think. But
is it real or no?
No, it's not.
They talk about it like it's real. They want to jump 100 gold wings on a gold wing.
Yeah, when I've actually, it would be real if someone wants to back this. But Dingus would be on the back. I've done the rally like calculations and figured out how fast we need to go to do this.
I mean, do you have someone that has to deal with sponsors for you, or do you have to go do all this yourself?
I just got Nate Hawley to help me, and he's been around for, I'm sure Jeremy knows him.
Yeah, Nate Hawley's been around for years. He was one of the main guys at DC, worked there for a long time. He worked at Fox. He's helped manage a few of my friends here and there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool to see Nate Hawley still cruising around the industry.
I had to do it like last year by myself, and it was a nightmare.
It sucks when you're busy and writing and trying to do all these deals and like
you're representing
not responding to
yourself.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to go brag about yourself.
Yeah.
Like when I rode contests, I hated not having a manager because I'm like, I don't want to go talk myself up. You know, I'm like, at least if this dude talks me up and I don't go perform, he looks stupid, not me.
Yeah, and I'm not great at pumping myself up too, so that would not. It's never gone.
No, you were probably depressed then too, so no one wanted to be around.
Yeah,
you.
no, it was just.
No, we don't want to give this money.
Hey, we're glad to see you happy because you came in with great energy today.
Thank you.
Yeah, and he was gassing you up yesterday. He was sending me clips of you. He's like, "Yo, this dude's insane." And then that's when all hell broke loose. That we never turned off your videos till then.
Yeah, the video clip that was from Robbie Madison's house yesterday. Like, that's the ramp that they're using at X Games, and I'm like. When I saw that video, I'm like, dude,
I'm
thing's insane.
So excited for us to just ride next gen ramps and not ride comp ramps anymore.
I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Oh, it's happening.
There's too many old guys, dude, like me.
You'll age out eventually. Eventually, you have to die.
I mean, at this point, you've transcended most of the generations of moto. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to get rid of him. He's still here.
I'm like a cockroach, dude. You can't kill me.
He's still. I mean, low key. I'm not even lying. We took a poll of like the most iconic athletes that we deal with, and we deal with everybody. And Twitch was number 2 or number 1.
That's crazy.
And I was like, that is unreal. Yeah, I mean, we know the value of him. Obviously, we know the value, the worth. We know the respect he's been giving us.
Dude, everyone knows who he is.
But
like
everybody,
everyone.
it's crazy. I think it's because he's the only guy that has tattoos. But when he takes his hat's off, like, I mean, you guys are all wearing helmets. You guys have gear on. His iconic look and image, and how he's like been able to keep that, but always like progress it and make it different.
They're always like, that's just the guy that shakes his head no all the time.
So
he's pretty recognizable.
Yeah, he is. As we get ready to wrap this up, a few things I wanted to ask you, just for people watching this that are like getting inspired by the podcast, getting inspired by you guys. I know you came from filming, and obviously now you're just like making a huge name for yourself in moto. How do you look at content, like as a writer now? Like, do you have a different perspective on that?
I would say like, I mean, obviously it's a big part of my job. It's in contracts that I have to post stuff and do that. But to me, like, as long as I'm doing something that like I get a bit of like a creative outlet from, and like it's just like it still is fun for me to kind of put it out, and like I think it's cool. Like I'm fine with it. Like I'll do all the content I need to do. But
do you get inspiration from any other sport? Like
yeah,
when you're editing
skateboarding
your
a
videos
lot.
and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of skateboarding.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like, I mean, I love making content, but I just try to do it every time that's like I get some kind of like, you know, it's personal to me and I get something out of it. Like it needs to make me feel good. Like I'm making something cool, and like I like use like music a lot. I was really into punk music and stuff, so I'm always trying to like show bands and lyrics that I like and stuff. So
yeah, it's interesting because I feel like I personally feel like the world of moto is a little bit more unique because you can have like an on-bike sponsor head to toe, then who makes boots and pants and gear, and then you can have an off-bike sponsor head to toe, lifestyle stuff. Like not a lot of sports get that, right? They have to get one thing, and that one thing's what they have to use when they compete and what they use when they go out to a club.
Yeah, we used to have shoe deals in moto, but we've kind of lost the shoe deal, unfortunately, and it's kind of came out. But yeah, we used to have a little bit more lifestyle stuff. I think it's starting to kind of make a comeback though.
Huge comeback.
I think there was too, like when there was events all the time. You had Do Tour, you had LG Action Sports, like you had Four Leaf. Like there were so many events going on back then, and so many like corporate sponsors and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
One thing I wanted to touch on too, I think it's cool that like coming from your filming background, that you still edit all your own videos, like you edit all your YouTube, like all that stuff. Like I think it's cool to see someone like yourself doing that.
Well, I think it's like, it's just trying not to be like, I don't want my stuff to be corny, you know, like, you know, you're sending it out to someone, like it's not, doesn't mean anything to you. Like everything I post like means something to me, you know, like I care about it. So.
Which is cool. I like seeing that.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's right.
I try.
Yeah.
Is there something that you guys think the world of moto needs in terms of content or in terms of media? Like how does it get to the, not back to where it was at, but to a whole new level? Like we're seeing skating right now kind of like take a huge leap now that they did this SLS thing with kind of the UFC involvement. We're seeing like skaters are like, their profiles are jumping triple.
Yeah, because there's money involved. So it's like you have more to work for. You want to get more creative. You're getting more money from sponsors where you can have leeway to go film certain video parts and not have to go worry about riding a contest for the next 6 months. It's like, no, I'm going to focus on videos right now. You know, like when people are helping you fund that and you're not so stressed on like all the day-to-day stuff, I think it makes it
For
so
sure.
much easier to do.
Huge.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Super Motocross all coming together, Feld and what's Coombs's Pro Motocross.
Yep.
Them coming together now, like I think the whole sports, free riding and everything will come right along with it.
Yeah.
But like the main thing for motocross is racing pretty much.
Mhm.
So like that's where we can pretty much track a lot of what's probably going to happen. And right now it's looking really good.
Yes.
So
Yeah, it's good.
The future is bright.
the future's looking really
the future
good.
is very
Yeah.
bright.
Yeah.
Is there and before I let you go, and I know Twitch might have a few more things for you, but one thing I had is, do you feel like there's a true definition for what a free rider means?
I don't know. Now we're blowing this term out now.
Yeah. I think it's just,
Yeah.
just a straight, just having fun.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I always thought of free riding as like you ride Richie and Beaumont. Like you build jumps with a shovel and you ride like natural terrain. That's
Yep.
kind of like what it's straying from that, but like that's what the definition of I think free riding pretty much
Glamis,
was.
Ocotillo,
Glamis,
all the
Ocotillo,
desert
natural
spots,
terrain
yeah.
with shovel. Like that's
free
kind of
riding.
like
contest,
Yeah.
not free riding at all.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah,
different
I watched
category.
this YouTube video of Rob Machado when he was talking about free riding after like leaving the WSL.
Mhm.
And I thought it was a pretty inspiring video, just kind of like for the love of the game, the love of the craft, you know, the love of just like what he loved to do.
Mhm.
It was pretty cool. I was like, damn, dude, I wish more sports had that so these guys could make more money just doing what they love. It's kind of like with these guys here. Like a lot of the guys here maybe aren't competing in the UFC
Mhm.
anymore, but they love still training and they go do one-off things, but they're
Yeah.
doing what they want to do.
I mean, if all I gotta do is like 2 contests a year and I could go free ride the whole other,
Yeah.
I'm
cool with the same thing.
I'm all right.
Same thing. It's happening to every sport though. You
Yeah,
see
it is.
UFC fighters leaving UFC, they just do one boxing fight a
Mhm.
year, make money, and the rest of the year they're training, doing seminars.
Well, we
opening
can
gyms.
make content, and that's
Yeah.
valuable still. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I love it. I think this whole thing, especially with you being able to bring these guys to the table and kind of bring a new light to how they're working it with sponsors, their life, the events. I feel like it's a whole new outlook on moto
Yeah, for
and
sure.
supercrossing.
I think it's cool. I just want to showcase my friends and showcase how gnarly they are.
Yeah, and before I
buddy.
let you go, what's the update on DBK? I see so much craziness on social. I see new product every week. I see your office. I see you guys doing giveaways. I feel like you guys are at an all-time high.
It's been going good. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting ready to do a pretty good distribution deal right now. So gonna start seeing us in a bunch of shops, and we just been waiting. There's 5 of us that work there. You know what I mean? So we're figuring it out slowly but surely. But for me, it's just like a passion project. I have fun doing it. I have fun designing stuff. I have fun sending artwork or sending ideas to like our artists and having them create
Yeah.
it. And it's just cool. For me, it's just a fun thing to do and gives me something to do during the week.
Gives me a place to go.
Do you have a energy drink deal? I know you're with Monster still,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How long you been with Monster?
This is gonna be 11 or 12 years this year.
Jesus.
Dang.
Yeah.
Really?
What about you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Monster, Rockstar.
There's people talking to him. We'll see what happens.
Free agent right now.
Oh,
We'll
bro,
see.
someone's gonna sign you immediately.
Someone
to make
better get
content.
this kid before X Games.
And let me make this super clear without even trying to sell you, because I know I'm not your agent. Any brand that is an energy drink brand that is trying to work with a writer, this guy makes better content than X Games and ESPN put together. Go look at his Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's what brands need right now. Authentic content that they could go make commercials and cool reels and shorts with. If you're an energy drink brand and you don't sign this guy in the next 30 days, you've missed out. Guaranteed
Or a
it's coming.
cigarette company. He'll
Whoa.
do either one.
Wow.
Money talks.
Wait, why cigarette company?
I'm just- they got
it's just
money.
a cool image.
He's like, I like to chain smoke before I hit a jump. No, hey, they got bread. That was a great call. They got bread. Maybe we'll get you the little zinnies.
Yeah.
Maybe
No,
they'll
I
sponsor
can't
you.
do that. Dude, I can't do it.
No?
Me and nicotine don't get along. No.
Really?
No.
That's lit.
No.
Well, maybe a beer company.
Yeah.
That
He
might
likes
be
beer,
good.
right?
Basically anything. Just email me.
Go to his Instagram. hit his
Free
contact
stickers,
button.
whatever.
Give him your YouTube so they can check your video.
It's just Patrick Evans is the channel name, I believe. And yeah, just type in whatever. Patrick
Same thing
Evans
for
MX,
Instagram?
man. Yeah, Patrick Evans _71.
Sick. And before we go, any sponsors that you are officially with?
Yeah, Fast House, Heatwave, and Stark Future.
Sick. You're with
Something like
Heatwave too?
Mhm.
Sick. What do they make? Just eyewear?
Yeah, sunglasses and goggles. Well,
Yeah.
we got a signature.
They do
goggle
they do
coming
some
out
like
too.
apparel stuff too.
Sick.
Yeah,
But they make your actual goggle
they
that
make
you
the
ride.
actual
Yeah,
goggles,
they're
yeah.
dope. They're super dope. Yeah, I like them a lot.
They have the one that you like peel off the lens.
Tear offs.
Yeah.
I'm really picky about goggle fitment and stuff like that, and their goggles are dope. I
I
like them.
love that goggle.
Yeah.
And then like I said, I have my hopefully a signature one coming out soon. So
Oh, sick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you already designing it?
Yeah, I already made it.
Are they sold everywhere?
Yeah, heat waves. I've been seeing heat waves everywhere.
Yeah, it's
Sick. Yeah, I'm
it's
sure with you on it too, it's probably going to explode.
I think I made their value go down.
I told them not to hire Jamie.
Listen, I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, always Twitch. Amazing show. Excited to see what else happens at this X Games event. I know half the competitors are your friends, so I don't know. I don't know who you root for in that. That seems a little tricky.
I root for all of them.
Yeah. With that being said,
He's rude to everyone. Don't worry. He'll make fun of it.
hopefully is there just like live streaming. With that being said, we'll definitely leave the link in the description. People can watch it. I think it's live, right? Is
Yeah,
it on Rumble or is it?
I think it's live on YouTube.
I
Probably.
think it's live. Yeah.
Sick. Yeah. So we'll definitely be streaming it. Make sure everybody can see it. We
Okay.
appreciate you coming through the Jackson.
Thanks
House,
for all
brother.
the kind words, guys.
Thanks
Yeah.
for coming, dude.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. That's it. Jackson Podcast. We out.